In this set of videos, we're going to be looking at what constitutes a good argument, what makes a good argument, what characteristics good arguments have. And the first thing we're going to be looking at is the distinction between two kinds of arguments, deductive and inductive arguments. Deductive arguments are one whose premises guarantee the truth of the conclusion. Good inductive arguments are one whose premises, the truth of whose premises do not guarantee the truth of the conclusion, but they make it very probable. Next, we're going to be looking at the criteria for evaluating arguments, deciding if arguments are good and bad, and we're going to get precise on what the terms valid and sound mean in this context. We will be taking a look at some valid arguments, and based on that we're going to see something about the pattern or the form of the argument. Then we're going to take a look at some valid forms or patterns of arguments. Then we're going to see how you can put together multiple forms, patterns of arguments to make a valid argument, because most of our arguments are somewhat complex, so they're more than just one sort of step, one sort of logical step that we're making. And finally, we're going to take a look at how we can go about to try to show that an argument is invalid, because we are only going to be looking at a limited number of patterns of arguments. If we come across one that does not fit one of our patterns, we cannot just conclude that the conclusion does not logically follow from the premises, but we're going to look at a way of trying to prove that is the case, that the argument is invalid. And it's a method called producing a counterexample, and it uses something called possible worlds.